Ladies and gentlemen.
It feels so good to be back. Guess he's back.
Just kidding, I was actually really enjoying my vacation and not having any responsibilities like the typical dirtbag millennial I am. What's up, Liberty Junkies? Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Roads to Freedom Foundation. Welcome back if you've been here before. I totally love you either way, though. It's me, your freedom dealer, Caleb Salvatore. Welcome to the best part of your day, Caleb's Corner. Now, before we start this video, I know a lot of people out there are going to be really put off by the mere idea of what I'm about to talk about. So I'd like you all to at least keep an open mind and try to hear me out for what I'm saying and not look at me as some kind of crazed radical, because you're gonna find out that what I'm actually saying is really reasonable.
It's reasonable. Okay.
Now, unless you're on social media detox, or you've been living under a rock for the past couple weeks, you know that Demi Lovato recently overdosed on heroin. Sources close to Lovato say she'll be checking into rehab soon. Obviously, mine and everyone at the Roads to Freedom Foundation wish her family, and friends the best, because addiction's a horrible disease that no one should ever have to deal with. However, you might not have heard of Anthony Caruso, Ronald Coleman, Yamir Shamari, or Corey Connolly. All of these people were recently caught with heroin too. But unlike Demi, they won't be able to go to an expensive rehab facility where they eat junk food, hug people, and cry all day. Obviously, we're pro-free market here, so if you want to do that, that's great. But this is the harsh reality of the war on drugs.
I wish the government would just ban itself.
The fact is, when Demi Lovato overdoses on heroin, she goes to rehab, comes back in 30 days, releases a new single because she's a changed person, then falls off the wagon and is back in rehab 4 months later. When Ronald Coleman overdoses on heroin, he goes to jail. There's no rehab, there's no comeback album, there's no leftist celebrity elitist tweets wishing him well. There's jail. Jail and a charge on his permanent record. That means even if he never touches another drug again for the rest of his life, he'll always be labeled a junkie. We need to stop pretending that the political and social elite don't get passes on the same exact drug laws that the rest of us do time for. Why was it okay for Barack Obama in his autobiography to admit that he smoked pot and even did a little blow, and then turn around and enforce the same exact laws on us that if he ever would have been caught breaking, he never would have had a chance in hell at being elected president? That's right, progressives. You aren't safe in this one either. Why is it okay for Jeb Bush and Snoop Dogg to openly discuss their use of marijuana on national TV and have no consequences? Yet when an 18-year-old kid in the inner city gets caught with pot, he gets the book thrown at him, gets charged with distribution, and is marked as a felon for the rest of his life. If you go to the neighborhoods where these politicians and celebrities live, you'll see just as many addicts as you would in the projects. Just because the drugs of choice are alcohol or Percocets instead of heroin or crack doesn't really make it any better. Addiction is addiction, period. No, exclamation point. Every year we pass more and more drug laws and give more and more money to drug enforcement agencies on a federal and local level. Yet in the last year, opioid deaths actually surpassed gun deaths in this country. The fact that we have an administration, and more specifically a bigoted Keebler elf attorney general, hell-bent on cracking down on drugs, but at the same time still have skyrocketing overdose and death rates, shows that whatever we're doing right now isn't really working. I'm saying legalize it. All of it.
All of it?
All of it. Until we start treating addiction as the health crisis that it is, instead of a criminal issue, it will always be a health crisis in this country. It's time we stop treating sick people like criminals and start trying something new. Now, when I say stuff like this, I often hear people say, yes, and then we can spend all the money that we're wasting locking these people up and enforcing the laws on them, blah, 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 and we can take that money and we can build free government rehab centers. Hold your horses there, partner. That's a noble cause, but it's not what we need to do at all. We can actually just give that money back to the taxpayers. Or at the very least, not use it on a destructive program that victimizes sick people. People who argue for government-mandated rehab either ignore or don't understand the nature of addiction. Addicts can't be helped unless they want help. No law or ordinance will ever change biology or genetics.
The government can't make you a better person. It can't make you follow good habits. Why don't they put you on a diet? You're a little overweight.
Now, the argument against everything I've just stated about legalization, decriminalization, etc., is that if we legalize these substances, they'll be more accessible and therefore more people will do them. I'd like to ask the people who raise that concern one simple question. And that question is that if we legalized heroin today, how many people do you know who aren't already on hard drugs that would go out and try it tomorrow? I can't name one person. Now sure, there's a few people who'd go out and smoke pot or whatever, but that's not near as destructive as the other drugs we're talking about. I don't think pot's really as taboo of a subject as it used to be. When you go to the bar and order a shot of Jack Daniels, you're confident that you're going to get a shot of Jack. Not some moonshine that's 110 proof and ends up being too strong and kills you. Why is that? Because alcohol's legal and run through a legit business and you know what you're getting. You're confident that that bartender isn't going to give you the wrong thing and kill you. Illegal drugs, however, are not the same. When someone goes to the coke dealer, which they're going to do whether it's legal or not, and I'd personally rather avoid unnecessary deaths, they're not sure if they're going to get the Mike's Hard Lemonade they ordered or a shot of Everclear. We'll have less overdoses, less deaths, and it'll be harder for kids to get a hold of. Now, there's always going to be that scummy guy who hangs outside of corner stores and buys stuff for kids, but at least you won't have violent criminals running your neighborhoods. On top of all that, and most importantly, addicts won't be afraid to get help. Far too often, people who want to get help are afraid to seek it out due to fear of legal repercussion. Alcoholism is far harder to recover from than any other drug or substance out there. It's a documented fact that alcoholism is actually harder to recover from than heroin or meth addiction. In fact, it's the only type of withdrawal from any type of substance that can actually kill you. So why do seemingly all of us know someone with multiple years of sobriety from alcohol? Could it be because the consumption of alcohol is legal and alcoholics don't have to worry about police officers sneaking into AA meetings trying to meet their quota for the month? Now, those things don't happen very often at NA meetings or anything like that, but you have to put yourself in the mind of a paranoid drug addict. If he knows it's legal, he knows there's not going to be police there. When you remove the fear of legal consequences, you remove the fear some of these people have about getting help. Now, obviously, this isn't the end-all be-all of solving addiction, but it's a good start. It's time to stop throwing sick people in jail, labeling them junkies for the rest of their lives on their permanent records, destroying any chance they have at finding a good job after they're out of jail and off the drugs, and then locking them in that deadly cycle of addiction for the rest of their lives. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. This is an issue that's very near and dear to me, and I think if we could mobilize people against the drug war, it would be a great thing for the future of this nation. Be sure to click the like and subscribe buttons down below. Make sure you turn the notifications on as well, because why not? Join us for our next video, just as long as I don't learn anything about Hillary Clinton that I'm not supposed to know. Hashtag still better than Piers Morgan.